So the second chapter was about Samkhya Yoga or Jnana Yoga. In that yoga, Bhagavan says that our Atma is eternal and our body is perishable, but Atma remains forever. And keeping this in mind, we have to do our karmas unselfishly or without expecting any rewards. Then we can attain moksha. Then Arjuna says, how can we do it? Then Bhagavan tells him about controlling our mind is the mind. Then Arjuna says, how do such people looks like? Then Bhagavan says about describes about the self-controlled man's feature characters. This and the third chapter explaining about the karma yoga more in detail, because Arjuna has now more doubt, because Bhagavan said that our ultimate aim is to reach to know Brahman and be one with Brahman. That is a true yogi, a good person or a person. That must be a person's aim, ultimate goal. That will be so. Arjuna is so confused. If that is the aim, we can. Why do we indulge in all these karmas and its results? Or we can be a yogi, or we can discard all our karmas and be free and be with Brahma directly. Then the God says, here he explained that all living things has to go through this karma cycle. But if we go through this karma cycle without any attachment, we can be liberated. So he is explaining it in this karma yoga. He is explaining it to Arjuna in detail. So in this third karma yoga, Arjuna asking, but Krishna, if you consider knowledge of Brahman superior to any sort of action, why are you telling me to do these terrible deeds? Your statements seem to contradict each other. They confuse my mind. Tell me one definite way of reaching the highest good. Because he is confused about the whole thing. Because if we want to attain a moksha, we no need to do these selfish karmas. Or then Sri Krishna explains why do we are supposed to do our karmas. Sri Krishna, I have already told you that in this world aspirants may find enlightenment by two different paths. For the contemplative is the path of knowledge. For the active is the path of selfless action. That is, for ordinary people, the only way to get moksha is to do our karma without expecting any results. So, nisanga mind, that is with the nirvigara mind, or we do not let the karma's results influence our soul. Our soul must be free from the karma and its results. Then we can attain moksha. We have to achieve that state. Then only we can go to the next level. That is the contemplative. They can choose the path of knowledge. That is the yogi, the next stage. But we are ordinary people, right? We cannot be in a meditative mode so easily. So we can be slowly become meditative and be with Brahman by doing our action selflessly. So Krishna continues, freedom from activity is never achieved by abstaining from action. Nobody can become perfect by merely ceasing to act. In fact, nobody can ever rest from his activity even for a moment. All are helplessly forced to act by the gunas. A man who renounces certain physical actions, but still lets his mind dwell in the objects of his sensual desire, is deceiving himself. He can only be called a hypocrite. The truly admirable man controls his senses by the power of his will. All his actions are disinterested. All are directed along the path to union with Brahman. Activity is better than inertia. Act but with self-control. If you are lazy, you cannot even sustain your own body. The world is imprisoned in its own activity, except when actions are performed as worship of God. Therefore, you must perform every action sacramentally and be free from all attachments to results. So Krishna here says that everyone is supposed to do their karmas, then only the world survives. Even the sun rises and gives us light without any selfish motive. The moon appears at night, the stars appears, the wind blows. Everything has a duty here, a purpose here. They won't think about its results. The sun has no thinking about the results, why I give the people light, or because they are blissful by nature. Already they attained Brahma in a Brahma mode. So if we attain that mode, we also become we are part of that Brahma, but we are ignorant because of our tamas, which is engulfing us. So we have to remove that tamas and act selflessly. That is how this world survives. So everyone has some duties to perform. Our duty we have to do. If we do it without any attachment, we are liberated, we will be at peace. So the whole book is about these things. The action without any reward. Why do we do like that? And then the Krishna slowly help us to attain that state, to know about that state. To attain that state, we have to do karma. Of course, we have to do our karma without selfless, without thinking about its rewards, or by meditation, or to give up all our actions. And it is very difficult to give up everything. Only yogis and because even if we give up, that is what he says here, because even if we give up our actions and go and do some meditation, our mind still wander around about our worldly things, about our children, our family, our past experience. We are not free. So we have to do our karmas for our children, our husband, we have to correct our mistakes, and we have to go through everything. Every action has a result also. That one also we have to experience. We have to accept with a brave heart. And then just think that this is our body that is going through all this. Our soul is free, and we have to liberate it. We have to reach that Brahma with that soul, and then that is that is what karma yoga karma yoga explains, or karma yoga initiates, what is indicates. So here is a very nice poem about this. The Paramahamsa Swami Prabhupada here translated this Indian very nice poem. This book is what I am what makes me familiar with Gita. So I can read this for you. In the beginning, the Lord of beings created all men. To each his duty. Do this, he said, and you shall prosper. Duty well done fulfills desire like Kamadhenu. The wish fulfiller, doing of duty honors the Devas. To you, the Devas in turn will be gracious. Each honoring other, man reaches the highest. Please the Devas, your prayer will be granted. But he who enjoys the Devas' bounty, showing no thanks, he thieves from the Devas. Pious men eat what the gods leave over after the offering, thus they are sinless. But those ungodly cooking good food for the greed of their stomachs sin as they eat it. Food quickens the life sperm. Food grows from the rainfall, called down out of heaven by sacrifice offered. Sacrifice speaks through the act of the ritual. This is the ritual taught by the sacred scriptures that spring from the lips of the changeless. Know therefore that Brahman, the all-pervading, is dwelling forever within this ritual. If a man plays no part in the acts thus appointed, his living is evil, his joy is in lusting. Know this, O Prince, his life is for nothing. So this is what that it is means yajna that we have, that is what Lord says is everyone has a duty, right? Then if we do not do that duty, we become sinful, because this is a life cycle. Because the water gives makes food, then we eat it, then something. It's a cycle, food cycle. In science also there is a food chain, right? Like that, in the whole universe has a chain to survive. If we break our this small purpose or our karmas, it will affect it will also affect the cycle. So we are sinful, we will be left out. Then we will perish. So if we to sustain and be with that whole Brahma, we have to accept our roles. That is what I understood. And if people like us, we have to perform our duties well, and for who give up all actions, it is different. That is but when a man has found delight and satisfaction and peace in the Atman, then he is no longer obliged to perform any kind of action. He has nothing to gain in this world by action, and nothing to lose by refraining from action. He is independent of everybody and everything. Do your duty always, be without attachment. That is how a man reaches the ultimate truth, by working without anxiety about results. In fact, Janaka and many others reached enlightenment simply because they did their duty in their spirit. And then the God continues. He says that everyone has some duties to perform here, and if now Arjuna knows that attaining Brahma is the highest goal, but he has to do his work. Why he has to do his work? That is Krishna explaining, because if the good people or the wise people discontinue their duties, the common people follows them, right? Because the ordinary people follow the leaders or the wise people. They consider the wise people doing the good thing, correct things, right? So if the wise people or the knowledgeable people stop doing things, the common people also follow the same, and the whole world will perish. The chain will break. So the world we will destroy. It will make the world suffer. So he explains about Janaka, who attained moksha through his selfless works. Janaka is Sita's father. There are certain people who attained moksha through selfless works. One such man is Janaka, the king. He ruled his kingdom wisely without any discrimination or with any selfish motive. So the people also followed his principles, and that kingdom was very prosperous, and people lived there peacefully. And so he was here as an example for the common people. So like that, the Arjuna also has to show good example to the common people without making them confused. That's why Arjuna asked to perform his duty by selflessly, because here they written that, but when a man has found delight and satisfaction and peace in Atma, and he no longer obliged do your duty always, but without attachment. That is how a man reaches the ultimate truth, by working without anxiety about results. In fact, Janaka and many others reached enlightenment simply because they did their duty in this spirit. Your motive in working should be to set others by your example on the path of duty. This is what Krishna explains to Arjuna about the secret of karma yoga, because karma yogi must do his karmas to be an example to others also, and for his self realization. Even God has some duties to perform. The sun, the moon, even the Sri Krishna has so many duties. Right? He did his duties best. So what a great man does, ordinary people will imitate. They follow his example. Consider me. I am not bound by any sort of duty. There is nothing in all the three worlds which I do not already possess. Nothing I have yet to acquire. But I go on working, nevertheless. If I did not continue to work untiringly as I do, mankind would still follow me, no matter where I led them. Suppose I were to stop, they would all be lost. The result would be caste mixture and universal destruction. Caste mixture means the duty done improperly, because people all have certain duties. At that time, they chose certain group of people to do certain duties. Nowadays, it is no more there. We can choose our duties with according to our talent and wisdom, but we have to do something for this world to sustain. To sustain our family, and the family will help to grow, to sustain the society help to sustain the bigger society, and the bigger society will sustain the whole slowly mingles with the whole world. That is how this human kind and the universe survives, right? Even if we humans are not here, still the earth survives, and that is another thing. We now is concentrating on humans liberation and what is his purpose, and how can he live here peacefully. That is the secret. Some people already have this wisdom, but the confused one has to understand these things. Then only they can live peacefully. Otherwise, we always think about why do we do this, what is the purpose of our birth, something like that. We always think we are just part of that whole Brahma, but we think that we are separate, and we have to get results from whatever action we do, and we are independent. If that feeling comes there, then we start we feel sad and left out and think about everything, and then it's that person got such thing, I didn't get that. That feeling will appear, then it will destroy us and it will destroy our peace. So we just think that we are all humans and all living things are a part of that whole Brahma. We have no separate entity really. So if we then the awareness is the difference. Those who are aware about these things seems different because they feel the very blissful and peaceful because they know that this is nothing. We are nothing. We are part of the Brahma. Our soul is part of the whole Brahma, Parabrahma. So if we know that, if we accept that truth and be with that Brahma, we will get peace. And to be with that peace, we have to give up all our egos and selfishness and do our work and remain unselfish and indifferent to the things around us in a good way. And we have to do our duties, but must be still be indifferent. That is the secret. And those who can follow these things, principles, can get moksha or peace. So, Krishna continues. Shake off this fever of ignorance. Stop hoping for worldly rewards. Fix your mind in the Atman. Be free from the sense of ego. Dedicate all your actions to me. Then go forward and fight. Fight means to live. Krishna continues. If a man keeps following my teachings with faith in his heart and does not make mental reservations, he will be released from the bondage of his karma. But those who scorn my teaching and do not follow it are lost. They are without spiritual discrimination. All their knowledge is a delusion. Even a wise man acts according to the tendencies of his own nature. All living creatures follow their tendencies. What use is any external restraint? The attraction and aversion which the senses feel for different objects are natural. But you must not give way to such feelings. They are obstacles. It is better to do your duty, however imperfectly, than to assume the duties of another person, however successfully. So, prefer to die doing your own duty. The duty of another will bring you into great spiritual danger. So, we have to do our own duty. Do not try to imitate others and try to clutch other people, snatch other people's duties. Because here Krishna says, it is better to do your own duty, however imperfectly, than to assume the duties of another person, however successfully. Prefer to die doing your own duty. The duty of another will bring you into great spiritual danger. So we have to do our own duty and be liberated. So here Krishna says Arjuna to go and do your duty. That here Arjuna's duty is to fight because he is a soldier. He cannot go and do cooking or who is to go praying or to do meditation at this time of the battle time. He has to protect his kingdom. That is why Krishna asking him to fight. Krishna is not asking everybody to fight with his people because here the situation is like that. His opponents are his relatives. What can he do? But relatives are good, but the man who is leading them are bad, and he has a bad intention. He is selfish, and so the Arjuna has to fight to win over that selfishness and get freedom and make people free to live in the kingdom and that kingdom, and then only the kingdom will prosper and people can live peacefully. If a king is very selfish and cruel, nobody will get justice and peace, right? So Nowadays also the politics are aiming that thing, that we vote for good people believing that they will lead us and they will protect us. That is what that time also did, so the leader must be brave enough to keep his principles and to be with the truth and rule the kingdom wisely for the benefit of the whole people without any selfishness. That is what here aims. And not only for the kings or to the other people, all other people, they have to do their karmas best without any selfishness. Then only he will be liberated and the whole people will get benefit and get peace. So that is the correct way of doing karma without any selfish motives, and aiming the whole benefit of the whole community or whole family or whole group or people surrounding us. A little bit of unselfishness also makes us a better human. That is what the karma yoga says. And whatever the ultimate thing is, the karma yoga gives us mental peace and freedom and detachment from these all cravings and unselfish things and greediness and possessive nature, and so the thoughts itself will bring harm to us. We cannot get peace of mind by thinking about that also. So just forget about all these thoughts and give up all that thoughts and just concentrate on what you are doing, and make sure that the karmas you are supposed to do, you do it best. That is what you can do to attain moksha and peace and give peace to others. You can give peace to other people surrounding you also by doing so. That is what I understand by this karma yoga.